so much stuff to say, but okay, some of these things are rules and some of these things are just the way things work. Like, there is no such thing as science. There is no such thing as voodoo. There is no such thing as, spirit world from, like say, like the Indians talk about the spirit world. I mean, but of course we call it spirit world, so there is a spirit world. Of course there's science, so we call it science. Of course there's voodoo because we call it voodoo. Of course there's religion, we call it religion. But the healers, okay, what's a healer in each faction of this game? In science, you're a doctor, that's how you heal. In religion, you heal because you're a healer, a miracle worker. In Indian, you'd be a shaman or a medicine man. In voodoo, you'd be like a witch doctor. Like, it's just the level that you're playing. And see, I have to say this because this is one of the things I need to explain. The people I'm working with, Trish and Tom, the thing is, they may have had some kind of a short experience before me in this time of this linear life. But Dan is is learning these things this life later in age in this body. But I know more, and it's not like I'm saying it to be like they want the rules of the game were told to me by them. They don't really care what I call them. That's the thing. I can pick a name and call them that. That's the problem, is people can call them whatever they want. So anytime someone has quote unquote been enlightened, they were so unenlightened that they decided to call them something because they were being conceited and they wanted to have it called what they wanted to have it called. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to call it anything different than what we call them. Like, they are all their own stories and they're all real in their own way. And in this real world, we made up stuff that isn't quite real, but it's real. Like, we hear of it, like a werewolf isn't real, but it's there, because if you say werewolf, you're like, is that really a thing? We're like, it's not really a thing in physical, but it's really a thing in thought. Like that happens all the time. So like, Trish, she's like, oh, I used to do that when this first happened. I used to think that too. But she's one of those people that, if I said, I know stuff that you don't know, and she would say, well, I know stuff you don't know. I'm like, no, because you know rules about the game from within the game. You know rules about the ghost game from within the game. I know rules about the ghost game from outside the game. There is no such thing as a ghost that can hurt you or harm you. If you believe they can within the game, and you believe a ghost can harm you, then it can. And she's like, well, I know differently because I've seen ghosts, I've heard of them doing this or doing that, because the person had a weak mentality. If you have a weak mentality, a ghost can just try to scare you and you can kill yourself. Or if you have a weak mentality, a ghost can scare you to harming others or ending your own life and stuff like that. And I know what I'm talking about, but I may not have the best words to put it into, so therefore people aren't going to believe me. And people like Trish, when I disagree with her, she's like, she gets all worked up, and I'm like, you're getting worked up. And she's like, I am not. And I feel that she is, but I just have to be like, okay, you're not, because I don't want to dwell on it and cause an argument being like, I know I'm right and you're wrong, because nobody likes that. That's the worst argument to get in, when you know you're right and someone's wrong, and they start knowing that you're right and they're wrong, and they don't want to be like, yeah, you're right. But in order to learn, you have to fucking believe something. You have to be like, you know what, I was wrong, okay? If you have to cry, then cry. But you don't want to do that because I'm not going to do that in front of somebody. I'll cry in front of anybody because I know now. I know the difference. But for me to say that, it's because I ultimately love everybody. To the point where it's ridiculous. And Trish, I love her. I just feel bad that, like, when I try to say something, she'll prove me wrong. She had this prove you wrong thing about her. And if I told her that, she'd say, no, you didn't. No, I don't. I'm like, yeah, you do. You're doing it right now. Right? Get it? Anyway, that's what I had to record, because it's important that I get these things about Trish, because she's one of the people that's working with me exclusively. And she does understand the ghosts on this level of the game. I'm on the next level. And that sounds sort of mean to say, like, I'm on another level. Well, when people say that, guess what? I made it up. It was my stipulation that I came back and put it in the game. We're on another level. I'm on the next level. But anyway, I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.